always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Hello, and welcome to GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Cynthia, and I am happy to be here another week, recording another episode for you guys, reporting live. No, I'm kidding, not reporting live, but I hope you guys all had a fabulous weekend. I had a pretty chill weekend. I was at my sister's place. And it was nice. It was relaxing. I didn't do much, so I'm not going to bore you guys with too much of what I did because it was pretty uneventful. But I hope you guys all are into the swing of things. I know it took me quite some time to get back into the groove, get back into the rhythm of, you know, my work life and everything else that I'm involved with, especially after Christmas. Are you guys now back in the groove of things? Yes, no, maybe so. But it's been hard. My routine was thrown way off track, and I feel like today is finally the day where I'm like, okay, I'm back into the swing of things. Last week was a little rough for me. I was still like on holiday mode, but I'm ready to kill it. I'm ready to just smash my 2020 goals, and not even just for the year goals, but I'm ready to just smash the day, the week. So I'm feeling extra motivated on this Monday, some Monday motivation for you guys. And we got a lot to cover today. So I want to jump right into it, and I want to discuss the 2020 Oscar nominations that were announced this Monday morning, and that's all I've been seeing all over Twitter, Instagram, every gossip site, celebrity site is all about the 2020 Oscar nominations, and I'm here to talk about it with you guys. So, as I just said, it was released this morning. The 2020 Oscar nominees were announced by actors John Cho, and Issa Rae, which was absolutely hilarious. I feel like they should be the ones hosting this year's 2020 Oscars, but as of last year, they have not had an Oscar. Just like last year's ceremony, this year's 2020 Oscars will not have a host again, which I'm sad about because I feel like the host of the show really makes an impact in the overall experience for the viewers and the audience members. So I'm kind of bummed that they're not having they will not be having a traditional host for this year's Oscars. And Carrie Burke, who is the president of Disney-owned ABC Entertainment, whose network airs the Oscar ceremony, recently announced that the unfortunate event of no host, but she noted that it will still be an entertaining show. I don't know. You got some big shows to fill because the 2020 Golden Globe Awards that happened last week, which I mentioned in a previous episode, if you guys want to go check that out. Ricky Gervais, he's the one who hosted the 2020 Golden Globes, and he definitely made an impact, an entertaining one. And I feel like every award show should have some host or hosts. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, John Cho and Issa Rae, they announced 2020 Oscar nominees this morning, and this year's ceremony will take place on February 9th. So we're just about a short months away from the event. This year, it will be the 92nd Annual Academy Awards Show, which will be held at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood. And the Academy Awards Show will honor the films as well as the acting, writing, and directing that have made a major impact in cinema over the last year. And I mean, just like every award show, there's always disappointments and fans are upset and somebody's always going to be upset that somebody got robbed, or somebody's always going to feel some type of way towards every award show, which is expected. And I'm now going to list some of this year's 2020 Oscar nominees. So for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, the nominees are as follows. Tom Hanks for his role in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Anthony Hopkins for his role in The Two Popes. Al Pacino for his role in The Irishman. Joe Pesci for his role also in The Irishman. And Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Which, in this case, Brad Pitt won this exact same category for the Golden Globes that just passed. So I feel like Brad Pitt could have a high chance of also winning an Oscar as Best Actor in a Supporting Role. And shockingly, you guys, I just found this out. This is Tom Hanks' first Oscar nomination in almost 20 years. Since 2001, that was his last Oscar nomination. So I'm surprised because, I mean, I'm a Tom Hanks fan, so I could be a little biased here, but he has starred in multiple and amazing films since 2001, such as Sully and Road to Perdition and The Post, and many more films that he starred in. So I'm kind of shocked that the Academy has not considered my man here for an award. And now moving on to Best Actress in a Supporting Role, which the nominees go as follows. Kathy Bates for her performance in Richard Jewell. Laura Dern for her performance in Marriage Story. Scarlett Johansson for her role in Jojo Rabbit. Florence Pugh for her performance in Little Women. And Margot Robbie for her performance in Bombshell. And I'm going to be so honest here, you guys. I have not watched any of these films. I have not watched Richard Jewell. I haven't watched Marriage Story. I haven't watched Jojo Rabbit. I haven't watched Little Women. I haven't watched Bombshell. So I feel like I can't give too much input in this category because what am I really going to, base it off of? I haven't seen any of these films. So I feel like I don't really have enough room to talk about this specific category. But I will say Jojo Rabbit caught my attention and I'm very interested in watching this film because my sister, this is a film that Scarlett Johansson got nominated for in Jojo Rabbit for her supporting role. While I was at my sister's house over the weekend, her boyfriend and her mentioned to me about this film and they recommended it to me and said that I should go watch it. They said it was funny, that it's a satirical spin about Nazis and Hitler, which I know when I say it, it's like, it cringy, you got chills maybe, but go watch the trailer and let me know in the comments what you think of the film because I'm kind of like interested. It definitely has there's humor to the whole matter. It's like they painted Hitler as a Disney princess. Like they definitely made this into more of a comedy film, satirical film. So I'm interested to see it, especially since my sister did recommend it to me and that lady does not recommend anything to me. So the fact that she pointed this film out and said, you need to go watch it, it's funny, I'm more prone to go watch it. So I'll keep you guys posted on my thoughts on Jojo Rabbit. Now, moving on to Best Actor in a Leading Role. So I was just talking about the supporting roles. I'm now moving on to the leading roles. And the following nominees for this specific category are Antonio, why'd I say it like that? I can speak Spanish. Antonio Banderas for his role in Pain and Glory. Leonardo DiCaprio for his role in Once Upon in Hollywood. Adam Driver for his role in Marriage Story. Joaquin Phoenix for his role in Joker. And Jonathan Pryce for his role in The Two Popes. I am not even surprised that Joaquin Phoenix got nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role because I already feel like he should be the winner because his role in the Joker was phenomenal. It was iconic. People are going to be talking about this film, but more specifically him for the next decade. And I can confidently say that because that's how amazing that movie was. And I think I mentioned it already in the previous podcast. So if you have been listening to me, then you can tell by my tone of voice that I'm very passionate about this film. I'm 100% behind it, and I feel like everybody should go watch it. And Best Actress in a Leading Role has been nominated to Cynthia Erivo for her performance in Harriet, Scarlett Johansson for a different film for her role in Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan for her performance in Little Women, Charlize Theron for her performance in Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger for her performance in Judy. And in this category for Best Actress in a Leading Role, Renee Zellweger took the trophy home and won in this specific category for this year's 2020 Golden Globes award ceremony. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cut into a quick break right here. And when we come back, I'm going to talk more about the Oscar nominees.
Hi, I'm Greg. I'm the CEO and founder of Sober Recovery Center. If you're struggling with alcohol, meth, heroin, pills, we can help you. We treat you in a way that's going to help you want to stay and want to do it. Sometimes people think that there isn't any hope, and yet there is. We don't give up on people. That's what makes us different.
Call SOBA now and get the help you need at 866-547-6451.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now. Don't bother. What's hot on Netflix and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Hello and welcome back to GSMC Entertainment Podcast. And we're going to just jump right into it. We're going to continue talking about some of this year's 2020 Oscar nominees. And for Best Picture, the following films were nominated: Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Now, a couple interesting facts here that I'm going to share with you guys. Parasite just made Oscar history by being the first ever South Korean film to be nominated for Best Picture and for Best International Film. That's amazing. That's such a huge accomplishment, and I am sure that everybody who took part into that project, into Parasite, must be so happy to, I've made history to even be nominated. Is such an honor, and especially for Best Film. So I'm happy for the South Korean film. However, no international or foreign language film has ever won for Best Picture. We could keep our fingers crossed, but we're going to have to see if Parasite makes history again and takes it home for Best Picture, which means they would have to beat out, The Irishman, Marriage Story, 1917, Joker. So Parasite has some tough competition. There were some amazing films within the last year, so we're just going to have to wait and see on February 9th who the winner is. Another interesting fact is, if you guys haven't seen it, The Irishman plays on Netflix, and it runs for 209 minutes, all right? That's, for those of you who aren't very good with numbers, it's about 3 hours long, this film. It's pretty long, which is why I haven't taken part into watching this film, because that's way too long for me. And going off topic here a little bit, this is also why I haven't seen Star Wars. Oh my God, I know all of you Star Wars fans, and even Lord of the Rings, I haven't even seen a full film. I've tried. It's not that I haven't tried watching these long films, but I literally fall asleep. Like, my attention span is not that long, so I just start dozing off, and hence why I have never watched a full Star Wars film or Lord of the Rings film. I know you guys are going to come at me crazy in the comments, and I'm sorry. But yeah, that's also why I haven't watched The Irishman. I think I have to break it down into 2 or even 3 sittings so I can just really grasp the movie. So as I was saying, I went a little off topic there, but The Irishman, so it runs for almost 3 hours, making it the longest Best Picture nominee film of the last century. All right. That's pretty major. The last film being the 1963 film Cleopatra. So since 1963, there has not been another long film like The Irishman to have even been nominated in this category for the last half century. That's huge. That's pretty major. Now, moving on to a different category, the nominees for Best Director are Martin Scorsese for his film The Irishman, Todd Phillips for The Joker, Sam Mendes for 1917, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. So far, you guys, Joker leads the Oscar nominations this year with 11. So Joker is on top of it. They are at the very front of the race. So far, being nominated for 11 nominations. That's impressive. And for just like the Golden Globes, Sam Mendes, he won Best Director for his film in 1917. So we're going to have to see if Sam Mendes continues that streak and also snags the award for Best Director at the Oscars. So we're just going to have to wait and see. And just like the Golden Globes and pretty much every other award show ceremony that occurs every year, there are many snubs, people getting robbed, many people being upset, fans just saying, I'm not going to watch this year's Oscars because so-and-so wasn't nominated. It's normal. Even those involved in the entertainment industry sometimes have input and express their disappointment or sometimes even rage of why they didn't get nominated. So one of those being director Greta Gerwig for her work in Little Women. Again, exactly like the Golden Globes, no females were nominated for an Oscar for Best Directing category, which is upsetting because I'm sure there are many, many amazing directors in the film industry, such as Greta Gerwig. And I mean, one of the actresses got nominated for Little Women. Saoirse Ronan got nominated for Best Actress in a Leading Role. So why couldn't the director been involved in the nomination list as well? So I'm not sure who runs the Academy, who's behind all the nominations, what exactly are the requirements, or what exactly is the Academy looking for to even be considered as a nominee for an Oscar. I just wanted to talk to you. Who are you? What are the requirements? Okay. Why are you leaving us women out? Not okay. Okay. And in addition, many film fans are also shocked and frustrated by the omission of Uncut Gems and the 2020 Academy Award nominations. Uncut Gems was just released in December, and this film is directed by brothers Josh and Benny Safdie, and this stars Adam Sandler. And this was also very shocking because not only is almost every Adam Sandler movie quite amazing, if I say so myself, but Uncut Gems, they had a very strong opening box office. It actually was A24's highest grossing film ever. So people definitely felt like Adam Sandler got robbed for his amazing performance in Uncut Gems. So I've heard. To be honest, I watched the trailer for Uncut Gems, and it pretty much has to do with Adam Sandler. He's like, gets involved. He does bets. Like, that's his thing. It has to also do with a jewelry store, and he's like betting, and it's kind of like he's involved in the fast life. Like, there's guns, there's fighting, there's sex. And I know I'm probably not describing it as well as I could be, but that's literally how I thought of the trailer. Was kind of like all over the place for me. Like, I understood there's like violence involved, and there's money involved, and there's like a lot at stake, but I couldn't really understand the true concept of the film just based off the 2-minute trailer that I watched. And if you've also seen the trailer for Uncut Gems, then you also must understand where I'm coming from, which is why I'm not able to thoroughly describe and paint a pretty picture for you guys, for those who are listening. But I'm proven wrong, because many critics and fans who've seen the film say that this is one of Adam Sandler's most amazing performances, that he absolutely deserves an Oscar. So I am now more inclined, after the list of the nominees went out, I'm now more inclined to watch Uncut Gems because of this, even though they completely got shut out of this year's Oscar nomination list. I'm more prone to watch the film because so many people are outraged. So I'm like, well, it must be good if many people are upset that Uncut Gems and Adam Sandler got booted out for this year's Oscars. So I will also keep you guys posted on Uncut Gems, because they definitely proved me wrong, because I was absolutely not interested after watching the 2-minute trailer on YouTube. I was like, yeah, I can pass on this, but I'm proven wrong. So we're just going to have to wait and see. In addition to fans being upset that there were no women directors being nominated, that Uncut Gems and Adam Sandler were also shut out for this year's Oscar nominations. Fans were also upset that Jennifer Lopez missed out on an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress for her role in the comedy drama film Hustlers, which I am so embarrassed to say what is wrong with me? I still have not seen Hustlers. I am dying to watch that film. So is my mom. I want to see some booty. I want to see J-Lo on the pole, okay? I know I need to keep it PG-13. I'm sorry if your child is listening to me right now, but I want to see J-Lo, okay? And she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for this specific role at the Golden Globe. She didn't win, but she was nominated in this category, so it was shocking that she had also been shut out in this category. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Which film award show is more prestigious? Is it the Oscars over the Golden Globes, or vice versa? I feel like it could possibly be the Oscars. Like, everybody always talks about the Oscars, and like, I feel like there's something about the Academy that, like, if you are in that world, it like validates your success in the film industry. But I don't 100% agree with that, because they also shut out Beyonce, and she's like the Queen of America. So I don't really believe that award shows should validate one's success in the entertainment industry. And let's keep it going about more upsets of this year's 2020 nominations. Other actors who fans say the Academy forgot to mention, or they must have forgot that these people even exist, were for Lupita Nyong'o, Awkwafina, Tyrone Egerton, Eddie Murphy, and Robert De Niro. And I agree. I'm like, how can you shut these people off? They're all amazing actors and actresses. And I also understand from the Academy's perspective, like, how do you hand out, how are you able to mention? It's hard to include everybody. That's pretty much what I'm saying, like, I feel like even if all of these listed actors and actresses who I just mentioned were nominated, somebody is still going to be upset. Somebody's still going to be outraged that a particular film wasn't mentioned or that particular director wasn't mentioned. So, I mean, in conclusion, I feel like I can say that this is pretty typical of award shows. No one ever leaves happy, okay? None of us should be surprised anymore. Someone is always going to be upset that so-and-so wasn't nominated or that so-and-so didn't win for best actor, best actress, best supporting role, or whatever the case may be. And I'm going to go on another quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to share with you guys a new romance.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and I'm now moving on to a completely different subject. We're done talking about the 2020 Oscar nominations. I will revisit that topic in February once the event has passed, and I'm now moving on. New year, new romance, right? And I'm here to talk about Lori Harvey. For those of you who don't know or unfamiliar with who this gorgeous lady is, Lori Harvey is Steve Harvey's stepdaughter. And just last month, Lori Harvey and Future, he's a hip hop artist, Lori Harvey and Future sparked relationship rumors after they were spotted getting cozy in Dubai. And now the dynamic duo is at it again, but this time they both seemingly confirmed their romance is real. So since last month, there have been many rumors speculating of these two. Are Lori Harvey and Future dating? Are they just a quick fling? Are they just friends hanging out who just happen to travel together? Is this like what rich people do? I'm here to tell you to confirm their relationship is real. I mean, that's what it seems via Instagram. On Saturday afternoon, Lori Harvey, who was currently celebrating her 23rd birthday in Jamaica, put her love on display. Taken to Instagram stories, Lori Harvey, she uploaded a sweet and romantic video clip of her and the 35-year-old rapper Future showing some PDA. She also showed like a short clip of roses. He had obviously decorated her room, her bedroom, their hotel room, whatever room they're in. He like put flower petals and like cute candles and, you know, the typical rose petals on the bed shaped as a heart. However, people were clowning the situation, saying that Future had done this to all of his previous girlfriends, all his past relationships, and all of the women he slept with. They all posted that exact same like clip of like them walking into a hotel room. There's like rose petals all over the floor and like a roses on the bed. So people were definitely clowning the situation. And I'll get into more why their relationship is so, I want to try and find the right word to say. It's not funny, but they definitely pack a punch. I will say that. And then she posted also another short clip. The two are seen enjoying an afternoon outing together. And at one point, the birthday girl, she pulls Future's head close to hers and he kisses her on the cheek. And naturally, she smiled after getting her smooch and puckered her lips as well. As she was facing the camera. And it was like a very short clip, things that girls do to let their users know, I got a man, but you don't know too much. That's pretty much what she did. And she captioned the video, "Life is good." And this is referencing to Future's latest single with Drake, also titled Life is Good. Life is good. If you guys haven't listened to that song, it's a perfect song to work out to. Life is Good has that high energy beat to the back. It starts off with Drake being melancholy per usual. So the first minute of the track, he's spitting, but not too hard. It's not aggressive. It's easing into the drop of the beat. And then that's when Future comes in and he's killing it with his bars, and it's super high energy. Perfect again for working out. So that's what she's referencing to their latest hit single, Life is Good. Additionally, Future also shared the same footage to his Instagram stories, the one where she pulls his head in closer to hers and he gives her a kiss on the cheek. He also posted that on his Instagram story. And the news of their romance came nearly 2 months after the 23-year-old star and Diddy, you guys, Sean Diddy Combs, called it quits. So the two were casually dating for almost 3 months before deciding to go their separate ways. Now, this girl has been everywhere, you guys, because this girl, Lori Harvey, she dated a few years back Diddy's son. At one point she dated Diddy's son, Christian Combs. So can you imagine your ex-girlfriend then dating your dad? That is why this whole situation is comical and why everyone is on social media going crazy for Lori's and Future's relationship, because they're so similar, calling them the most toxic couple in the most comical way. They both have dated so many people. Their dating list, their dating history is pretty long. Not bashing on them. Everyone's, entitled to their own love life, their own sex life, their own dating life. That is you. I see nothing wrong with dating multiple people. And heck, she's 23. She's young. She's at the age where she can date whoever she wants. No, she doesn't need to be, compromised with anybody. As long as each individual is single and not married, I feel like the situation is okay. I know she has been getting a lot of backlash from men, which is ill, because you're just displaying your toxic masculinity on air. But anyways, I feel like every woman should do whatever they please with their bodies. And if she wants to date back-to-back, men, then let her be. She's single, she's young, she's hot, she's 23, she's at the perfect age to do it. So I just want to put that out there. Don't come for my girl Lori. And I think this is why so many women are rooting for her on social media, is because she's acting like a dog. And what I mean by that, I don't mean that derogatory term, but she's acting exactly how men have treated so many women for years. To be specific, more like Future. This is how Future has dealt with all his past relationships. He dates one girl, gets them pregnant, has a baby with them, and then hops to the next one. And that's kind of his routine. And that's why so many women are rooting for Lori, because she's following the same steps as other men and Future. And that's why they have been labeled as the most toxic. And I put air quotes because everyone throws that word around like hot potato nowadays, but that's why they're labeled as the most toxic couple right now. And it's just comical. That's how I view it. The whole situation is comical to me. I try not to get too invested in celebrities' lives. I mean, they're celebrities. They don't know me. I don't truly know them. So I shouldn't get my emotions and feelings, so involved into their life, because they have no idea who I am and their personal life does not affect me. But it's just entertaining, right? That's the whole point of this podcast. It's entertainment news. It's just for giggles, put a smile on your face. It's entertainment, all right? And like I said, it's all a joke, you guys. It's all a joke. Don't take it too seriously. And in addition to the new romance that Lori Harvey has with Future, I want to talk about the buzzkill that this lady just experienced. So nearly 3 months ago, Lori Harvey was arrested. Okay. She was arrested for a hit and run in Beverly Hills. And just this morning, it has been announced that she has been charged with 2 misdemeanors from that incident. The 23-year-old has been hit with 1 count of resisting, delaying, and obstructing a peace officer, as well as 1 count of hit and run resulting in property damage. She is set to be rearraigned on January 21st, which is like, oh, boo. That sucks, man. I hate that. Apparently, she was involved in a single vehicle accident in Beverly Hills about 3 months ago, and the authorities confirmed that she didn't stick around the scene, but was apprehended nearby. So that's pretty much why she's getting the 2 misdemeanors. When police arrived, the driver of the sedan, which happened to be her, she left the scene of the collision and was ultimately contacted by police in the area. And I feel like she was young. I feel like she didn't know any better. I've heard of other people around that same age who leave the scene. I mean, typically, when you get in a car accident, especially when you're young, you're frazzled. You don't really know what to do. And especially depending if you're lucky or unlucky, depending who you got in a collision with, they could absolutely take advantage of you. I remember one time I was rear-ended in LA in traffic, and the couple were in middle-aged, and they definitely tried to take advantage of me. They were not letting me take pictures of their license plate. They wouldn't let me see their license, take a picture or nothing. It's like, girl, my mom taught me well, and I know what I need to be doing when I get in a collision. So I feel like that possibly maybe could have been the situation with Lori Harvey. Maybe the person she got in a accident with told them oh no, it's fine, each go their separate ways. I mean, there's not too much detail about the severity of the situation. I don't know if it was very terrible. I don't know if anybody got hurt. So I feel like that term hit and run is being thrown very loosely in this situation. But I mean, unfortunately, she's now getting 2 misdemeanors for it. And due to the fact that she left the scene of the collision without providing her information or contacting police as required by law, caused a delay in the police investigation, and she was cited for misdemeanor hit and run and obstructing, delaying a police officer. So I'm sorry to you, Lori Harvey. That's a very, that's a sucky situation. I feel like I've been in something similar, but I have no misdemeanors, knock on wood. My record's clean. And you guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode for the Entertainment Podcast. As always, don't forget to subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, leave some nice comments. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode, and catch me next week here at GSMC Entertainment Podcast.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.